Robin Hood. A long time ago, in England, there was a man named Robin Hood. He was brave, smart, and kind. Robin Hood lived in a big forest called Sherwood Forest. He was not like other men. Robin Hood was an outlaw. That meant the law was after him. But Robin Hood was not a bad man. He only broke the law to help people. Robin Hood lived with his group of friends. They were called the Merry Men. They all lived in the forest together. The Merry Men were brave like Robin. They worked with him to help poor people. Some of his closest friends were Little John, Friar Tuck, and Will Scarlet. The reason Robin Hood became an outlaw was because of the Sheriff of Nottingham. The sheriff was a greedy and mean man. He made poor people pay too much money in taxes. If they couldn't pay, he would take their homes and land. Robin Hood didn't think this was fair. Robin Hood came up with a plan. He and his merry men decided to take money from the rich people who worked for the sheriff. They would then give the money to the poor people who needed it most. Robin Hood called it robbing the rich to give to the poor. One day, Robin Hood was walking in the forest when he saw a big, strong man by the river. The man was carrying a long stick. Robin Hood had his bow and arrow. The man blocked Robin's path and said, "You can't cross this river." Robin Hood laughed and said, "We will see about that." Robin and the man decided to have a fight with sticks. They both tried to knock each other into the water. Robin was quick, but the big man was very strong. In the end, the big man won, and Robin fell into the river. Robin climbed out of the water, laughing. "You're strong," he said. "What's your name?" "My name is Little John," said the man. Robin Hood smiled. "You're not little at all. Come join me and my merry men." Little John agreed, and they became best friends. Robin Hood and his merry men wore green clothes so they could hide in the forest. They used bows and arrows to stop the sheriff's men when they traveled with gold. One time, they stopped a rich man who worked for the sheriff. The man was scared. He said, "Please don't hurt me." Robin Hood said, "We won't hurt you. We just need the gold you're carrying." The merry men took the gold and gave it to poor families. The people loved Robin Hood and his friends. They cheered whenever they saw him. The sheriff was angry. He wanted to catch Robin Hood and stop him. The sheriff came up with a plan. He announced a big archery contest in Nottingham. The best archer would win a golden arrow. The sheriff knew Robin Hood was the best archer in England. He hoped Robin would come to the contest, and then he could catch him. Robin Hood heard about the contest. He knew it was a trap, but he decided to go anyway. He put on a disguise so the sheriff wouldn't know it was him. Robin Hood wore old clothes and a big hat. At the contest, many archers tried to hit the target. Some got close, but none could hit the bullseye. Then it was Robin Hood's turn. He took his bow and arrow, aimed carefully, and hit the bullseye right in the center. Everyone cheered. The sheriff looked closely at the man in old clothes. He realized it was Robin Hood. "Catch him!" the sheriff shouted. Robin Hood was quick. He ran into the crowd and disappeared before the sheriff's men could catch him. He escaped back to Sherwood Forest, where the merry men were waiting for him. Even though the sheriff kept trying, he could never catch Robin Hood. Robin Hood and his merry men kept helping poor people. They gave them food and money, and they protected them from the sheriff. Robin Hood became a hero. The people loved him because he stood up for what was right. They sang songs about him and told stories of his bravery. And so, Robin Hood and his merry men lived happily in Sherwood Forest, always helping those in need.